Now I would like to show you what inheritance is in object-oriented programming and when you would use it. I have two classes here. One class is called book, and the other class is called magazine. The book has a property title. It's a string. I have a getter and a setter. Then it also has a property hardcover. It's a Boolean. A getter and a setter. A book can either have a hardcover or not. And it has a way to display the title in a nice way called display nice title, a public method. And it displays the title in blue and puts a nice little horizontal line after it. And that's all we have for book. Then we have magazine. Magazine has a property title as well. It has another property called subscription duration in months, which is a number of months, the setter and the getter. And it has a way to display the title, same thing as in the book. It's called display nice title. And here it's a little different. It doesn't display it in blue, but in green, but it has the same line after it. And that's all we have for magazine. So we have our two classes, book and magazine. So let's instantiate these and use them. First, let me show you what this code will output. F5, it outputs nothing because we just have two classes. We don't have anything doing anything yet. So here's the code. Book equals new book. So now we have a book object. Book, set the title. The title is, let's say, leaves of grass. And we will show the book title, display nice title. Let's see what that looks like. And there we have it, a blue title with a line after it. Let's put some space here for the next one. So now let's do the same thing for the magazine. Magazine equals new magazine. Magazine set title, let's call it PHP magazine. And let's display the nice title again. Same way we did with the book. Oops. Display a nice title. There we go. And there we have it. Leaves of Grass is in blue and PHP magazine is in green. Now, one of the purposes of object-oriented programming is to give you a way to not repeat code. And let me show you how we're going to allow book and magazine to share the property title. We're going to do that by creating a new class called published document, since both of these are a published document. And in this published document class, we're going to have a title. We'll just take it out of the book. There we have it. But now the problem is that the book doesn't have a title property. So if we try to run our code, we get the error that there is no set title in book. What we need to do is say book extends published document. And then book uses the property title from published document. PHP magazine is still using its own title. Let's just take it away. If we try to run this code, it'll complain as well. But if we say extends published document, everything is fine. Now, both of these classes are using the same property in published document. To prove that to you, let me put a little X, for instance, at the end of where it returns the title, and we see that there's an X on both of them. Let me take that out. So that's one way to optimize your code. Put all of the properties that your classes share into one class and then inherit that class from all the classes that need that property. Now, hardcover is unique to book and subscription duration in months is unique to magazine, so it can't share those. But look at this one here. Display nice title is the same as display nice title. However, we don't want to just have them use the same one because magazine is a little different. It has a green here than book. It has a blue here. But there is a way that you can use part of a inherited method. Let me show you how to do that. You take the method. I'm going to copy it up into published document. So now we have it up here. Now this line here, blue, is unique to book, so I'm going to take it out. This is the line that is shared by both book and magazine. So let's go down here to display nice title. Now this part we need to take out. However, let's see where we are at this point. right. We are displaying the nice title, but there's no more line. What we can do here is say parent, and that means the class that I'm inheriting from. That's the parent, and display nice title. We have to add the output of that method to our outgoing variable. And now we have a line. Let's do the same thing to the magazine display nice title, so it doesn't display its own line anymore, but the one from the parent that it's inheriting here, published document, from this right here, this line. So when we run it, it's the same. And to show you that each class is using the same line, let's change the line to red. And they both change. So there you have 1 point to change your code, and it'll change that effect in all of your classes which inherit from your parent class. Let me show you at this point one point that we overlooked here. This is the published document, and we have in our property title, we're defining the internal variable as private. That's going to cause a problem. Let me show you why. In our display nice title, we call the public get title, which works. Let me show you what will happen if we call the internal variable. If we try to call title, it doesn't have access to it. The reason is because in our inherited class published document, we defined this internal variable as private, and so it is private to that class and not the inherited classes or the classes that inherit this class. If we change it to protected, then all of the classes that inherit published document also have access to mtitle. There we have it. So that's a point to remember when you bring private variables that you have, internal variables that you have defined as private in your classes up into a parent class so that other classes can share them. You need to change this word here from private to protected so that those classes which inherit from published document also have access to this internal variable. So the last feature that I want to show you in inherited classes is something called overriding, which enables you to make default values very easily. Let's say that for each published document you have a delivery method. So we can say public function get delivery method return, and let's say your default that you want is UPS. So let's see how this works. Since we put that in the published document class, which book and magazine inherit, both book and magazine have immediate access to this. So if I say echo book get delivery method, it already pops up for us. Very nice. Let's see what it says here. Leaves of grass, it's a book. Delivery method is UPS. And for magazine, we have to change this to magazine. Magazine. Save, show. It is also UPS. Now, you might have 50 different types of published documents, each represented by a class which inherits published document. And let's say you have one which has a special delivery method. You can just take this method, copy it to, let's say, magazine, and override the method getDelivery method in your parent class. So let's say we have Federal Express book rate, or what are we in magazine? Federal Express magazine rate, let's say. Whatever. Now if we look at our output, we have in book UPS, since book does not have a getDelivery method. We see that here. It doesn't have one, so it uses the one from the parent class published document here. But magazine overrides this method, getDelivery method, and has its own. So with these few features, the concept of inheritance, the concept of protected and private internal variables, the concept of overriding, for instance this, and the concept of calling parent methods where you want them, enable you to build a hierarchy of classes which are very complex, yet can map the relationships between real objects, for instance, magazines, books, and maybe 20, 30 other different kinds of published documents that you might have in an application that you're making.